Battery forward!
What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan the Gamer, and I am on the best Call of Duty game ever, Call of Duty United Offensive. And yes, that is my opinion, but it should also be fact. I've played all the Call of Duties, and I mean every single last one of them. I am not a guy that started on Call of Duty 4. I also did not start on Call of Duty 2. I started way back in 2004 on the original Call of Duty, and this is the expansion pack, which added way more features, made the game way more, just made way better. I mean, it was already good. I was going to say way more better, but it's not a word. But it made it way better than it was. So this is the expansion pack. A lot of you guys have already seen this before. I've spoken about it like tons of times, but this is for the new subscribers who may not have seen this or just, subscribe to me so they're not familiar with this game. So the reason I'm showing this is because I wanted to conduct a interview with a developer who's starting a game called Battlefield Battalion 1944, which is supposed to be a predecessor or spiritual successor, that's what I should say, a spiritual successor to the classic Call of Duties like Call of Duty 2 and the Night of Offensive and things of that nature. So what I want that interview with Bulkhead Interactive, and I just want to ask them some questions about the game. Now, this game here is very different from other Call of Duty, as you can see right there. You see that recoil? Now I'll show it again in slow motion for you guys. But that's one of the main things I used to preach about all the time when I used to wait for the new Call of Duties to come out, and I would want them to, Activision, to add the old stuff that was in the older Call of Duties, like recoil, because the game took more talent to play. This, and a lot of the older games that came out around this generation, this was around the time when I actually felt like I was actually good at a game. Because not only, it wasn't just about, am I quicker on pulling the trigger, or do I have the best perk set up to beat this player? No, this was actually raw talent. This was actually you playing the game and you actually controlling, your weapon and actually, beating the other team. So like you saw with the ADSing was not a big thing on the classic Call of Duties. You would actually start shooting at the sky because the kick and the guns were just ridiculous. Now, some guns were better, as you saw the gun that gentleman was just using, which was the Bren. But the problem with the Bren was, yes, it had better ADS, but it shot, first of all, shot slower. Second of all, it was a lot heavier and you moved a lot slower. So each gun had their advantages. You had the BAR, another gun that was really good at shooting ADS, which was the American assault rifle. But the only problem was it had a ridiculous amount of vertical kick. It would kick up to the sky after 3 shots, but it shot so fast, and it was so good at shooting, aiming down aiming straight from ADS because of the iron sight, but it just kicked so much. But anyway, forget about all that. This is about the interview with Bulkhead Interactive. So I saw that my dude BG got an interview with them. It was crazy too, because I was already planning on asking them about this like way before he did it, but he beat me to the punch. And he got an interview with them on one of his podcasts. So I was going to actually try to make that podcast, but the problem was he was starting at 11 a.m. and I actually had to work that day, so I could not show up. Speaking of having to work that day, I was supposed to be there today, and I didn't find it out till later. Hopefully I have a job after this. But anyway, yeah, so I couldn't make that interview. So I want to get an interview by myself anyway, though. I want to be able to ask those questions. Now, they did post on Twitter that they were doing a Q&A session on Twitch. Now, the thing about Q&A sessions, first of all, you're barely going to be seen. Your question is barely going to be seen. It's going to be people spamming all day. I think you have to send them like direct message, but again, people are going to be spamming them all day. So it's pretty much your question may not even be spotted. Plus, I want to ask more than one question, because I'm sure in that Q&A, it's going to be a bunch of the guys who started around Call of Duty 4, or a bunch of guys who enjoy playing, World at War, who is going to ask him questions about, casual stuff like perks and things like that, which is stuff that the developers want to stray away from. They want to make this more bare bones like the older Call of Duties were, but it just took raw talent to actually play the game. Now, I have some other questions I want to ask them about it, because there's some things that I like the United Offensive had that a lot of the other Call of Duties like Call of Duty 2 stripped away, which is the game that they're really focusing on being the spiritual successor of, which I myself and me and my clan members that played this game, and like I said, I played this game for a total of 3 years. I bought it in 2004. I didn't stop playing it until Modern Warfare 4 came out. But actually, I still played a little bit since then. I played it, I think, till 2008. And then after that, I was just like, I'm done. My computer is old. I'm getting the Xbox 360, and I started playing on the 360 more. So that was the main reason why I really stopped. But they're focusing more on that title. And like I said, I'm not really a huge fan of that game. I really wasn't. Me and my buddies played it for about maybe a week or two, because we were so anxious for it to come out, because we were like, oh, a new Call of Duty's coming out, Call of Duty 2. Oh man, we gotta get this. The graphics look better, and we got it, and we were like, what is this? Like, it was casual. Like, this is around when they started casualizing the game, because it was an Xbox 360 launch. So they had to kind of dumb it down a little bit compared to the older Call of Duties. Like, I noticed that people were lighting me up, ADSing me, and I'm like, why are you able to ADS like that? It's not supposed to be how Call of Duty is. It's more about hip fire, because you had different stances. As you see me trying to ADS this guy right here, you had different stances that you had to do to shoot from the hip, and that made your accuracy better. So like shooting from standing had less accuracy, shooting from squat had better accuracy, and shooting from a prone position gave you the best accuracy. And that's how typically you would shoot your weapons in this game. But Call of Duty 2 wasn't like that. Plus they removed sprinting, which I thought was weird. Like, I'm like, why would you remove sprinting? And then they took vehicles and stuff out. Now with Call of Duty 3, they did make it seem more like United Offensive, which Call of Duty 3 is definitely a hidden gem. A lot of people did not try that game out, but it actually, in my opinion, was better than Call of Duty 2, and almost on par with Call of Duty United Offensive, but Call of Duty United Offensive still was better. But Call of Duty 3 pretty much was a graphically remaster of United Offensive. I mean, they put the tanks and things back in the game. This was a game made by Treyarch as well. They put the tanks back in the game. They added sprinting in the game, but they kind of made it more like Battlefield, where you had classes you could choose from, which was also pretty cool. Only problem with the game was it was very buggy. You had a lot of weird bugs in it when it came to playing online and just even playing the single player. That was the main issue. But Treyarch was still pretty new in the game. They only made one game before then, which was the Big Red one, which was the only console Call of Duty at the time. But anyway, like I said, I would love to conduct an interview with these guys. I think I will be able to ask them really good questions, since I am a long time old school Call of Duty player, and I've had tons of experience with the game and the older ones that they want to focus on. And I would ask them all the good questions, and probably the tough questions that a lot of people have not been asking them is going to be in the game, because I definitely think I can make this game just as good as the classic Call of Duties just by asking them certain questions to make sure they know them. Now I know I'm not a big YouTuber like BG. I don't have his amount of views, but still, this would be my first interview with an interviewer, so that'd be a staple. Two, like I said, I'm actually a long time Call of Duty player, so I have a lot of experience with them. I probably even played against these guys back in the day when we were younger. So I would probably be the best person to interview. Plus, I could probably get my old clanmates to get this game and a lot of newer people. So yeah, so this game is good. I'll promote this game like crazy, man. But let me know in the comment section down below, man. Do you think you would like to see this interview? Because I just think it'd be a staple, and it'd be something new. You could actually hear from a developer on how games are made and things like that. So you'll learn a lot, and I'll learn a lot. And I just think it'd be good for everyone. So it's your boy Tick, aka Game Fanatic, the Michael Jordan of Gaming. And I'm gone. Share, like, and subscribe. Bye!